Who the hell does this guy think he is? Everything guns is expensive right now. I've said this before. 7.62 by 39 has consistently been the cheapest centerfire cartridge throughout the last year or so. I think it's because the SKS market has just about dried up, and you can't get a decent AK or AK variant in 7.62 by 39 for less than $900. So the influx of new shooters that we've seen throughout the last year, they're not really shooting 7.62 by 39. They're mostly shooting 9, 223, 12 gauge, 22. So the availability and price of the cartridge is what kind of led me to build an AR chambered in 7.62 by 39. And this being a precision rifle build, I wanted to see just about how cheap I could go while still getting decent accuracy out to 400 yards. I should maybe mention a small disclaimer about this build. In sticking with the budget theme for this rifle, it is about a $900 build. However, a third of that price is in the scope and the trigger. That's not the trigger. This is the trigger. If you put, say, a $30 scope on here, or maybe a $20 set of iron sights, and just a simple mil-spec trigger, you could probably bring this price down to about $650, which is definitely on the lower end of AR-15s, especially in these trying times. And going with this KE Arms KP-15 polymer lower actually saves a significant amount of money. And with the average lower being about $100 nowadays, this was $120, and it came with a bunch of stuff that your average strip lower just doesn't come with. For example, you don't need a buffer tube, you don't need a castle nut, you don't need an end plate, you don't need a buttstock, you don't need a pistol grip, you don't need a trigger guard, because everything comes in one piece. And this lower comes with its own set of proprietary takedown pins, so just right out of the box you're saving $100 to $120. And then on top of all those features, you're also getting a beveled magwell, which is usually a premium feature. And in keeping with the cheap theme, I also wanted this to shoot the cheap stuff accurately. Mostly Tula, Wolf, steel-cased ammo. So for the most part, I was shooting this stuff. Not exactly this stuff, because this is the range-friendly. Basically, it doesn't have a bimetal jacket, so you can shoot this at indoor ranges. Most indoor ranges don't allow Tula or Wolf steel-cased ammo because it has a bimetal jacket, which damages most of the indoor equipment. And I did start off with the normal Tula ammo, but I ran out of that stuff. Ammo's a fortune these days, so I just kind of broke into my indoor range supply, which had basically the same exact results. So this is a long-range precision rifle capable of shooting steel-cased ammo accurately out to 400 yards. For the most part, I'm shooting at an 18-inch steel target, which I know is pretty big for steel. The thing weighs about 30 pounds and is a pain to lug around, but it's well worth it because it's a lot of fun to shoot at long distances. audible smack of the round against steel. First off, it sounds awesome, but also it's a good way to tell if you're actually hitting the target at long ranges. So it's perfect to shoot out to say 400 or 500 yards, which is probably about the effective range for me as a shooter. I'm not going to pretend like I'm a world-class sniper or anything. And honestly, a good precision setup will just make you look a lot better than you really are. So with 200 yards, this thing's a piece of cake. One cloud in the sky. One cloud. .300's a little more challenging. But at 400 yards, it's where this rifle really shines. Light primer strike. Here's the group from 400 yards with 7.62 by 39 steel cased ammo. Something's going on in the creek over there. But anyways, you can see from the flag that there's not a lot of wind out here. Kind of the perfect day to go shooting. That wind's actually blowing in my favor towards the target. And I was shooting from way over there. That little white speck, I think that's the table. But not too shabby for 7.62 by 39 steel cased ammo. You can probably see from the video that this is a 10 round mag, but I'm usually only loading 5 rounds in it at a time. Aside from precision shooting, this would actually probably make a good 3-gun setup. It's lightweight, has a flared mag well for quick reloads, and it's also front heavy for quick follow-up shots. With the assistance of this muzzle brake, it's actually a very flat shooting rifle. It can be a decent close range weapon, but this build was meant to be a 300 to 400 yard marksman rifle. Now I did put a 3-gun trigger in here. It's made by Rise Armament, and it's about a 3.5 pound pull. I'm pretty sure that having that lightweight trigger is the cause of a few light primer strikes. And in case you don't know, steel cased ammo, usually from Russia, has a much harder primer than the brass case ammo that you find here in the United States. For whatever reason, the 7.62 by 39 bolt carrier groups, they just include a regular mil-spec firing pin in there. I'm not exactly too sure why, but I did order an enhanced firing pin, and it's supposed to be like a few hundredths of an inch longer, so it's supposed to have a little bit more of a hit, and I'm hoping that that's gonna take care of the light primer strikes so I don't have to swap out the trigger. So I think I mentioned that the lower comes with its own proprietary takedown pins. They actually come straight out. They have a little ball detent, and that's how they stay in the gun. But the lower actually has a really nice lockup, and that's what kind of made me think of it as a precision rifle to begin with. So let's talk about the scope for a second. It is a Nikon tactical something. It's calibrated for 300 blackout, but as I'm sure most of you out there know, 7.62 by 39 and 300 blackout are very similar, especially out to 400 yards, at least 400 yards from my small amount of testing that I've done. The mils on this 300 blackout scope match up perfectly with the 7.62 by 39 cartridge. This was like about 150 bucks ish. I think less, maybe even like 120, $130. But it was very difficult finding a 7.62 by 39 scope that wasn't over $400 or $500. I guess there's not a lot of people out there that are precision shooting 7.62 by 39. So 300 blackout was pretty much my next best option. Sticking with the lightweight as well as cheap theme, I went with this handguard. It's kind of a no-name handguard from, I think I got it off justrails.com. They sell a lot of like Chinese made stuff. But this handguard I think looks great. They took out metal in basically every place that they possibly could on this lightweight handguard. So it does help keep it lightweight, as well as it helps display the stainless steel barrel that's right here. And speaking of the barrel, let's talk about the barrel, because it's kind of the heart of just about any AR-15 out there. Your AR-15 or most guns are basically only as good as your barrel. This barrel is actually not super expensive or anything. It was really only like, I think about $100, but it's a heavy profile 16-inch barrel. And so far I've been very pleased with its accuracy. I like slings a lot. I like slings on just about every gun, but being that I'm not going to hike around with this gun, it's going to be sitting on a bench most of the time. I'm not really too worried about having a sling. I did put this little strap back here, so I could hook a sling on this loop right here to right here, but there's really no need. Also, I do advocate for putting a flashlight on guns so you can see what you're shooting at, but for obvious reasons, this doesn't really need a flashlight. I'm not really going to be shooting this thing in low light situations. So since this is on the lightweight side, it's actually pretty good for a new shooter to try out. Just to go on a tangent here for a second, take a new shooter out, preferably to a private or uncrowded range, one where there's just not a lot of blasts going off. Hand them a big black scary rifle, or in this case, dual tone. Let them pull the trigger a few times and send some lead downrange. 9 out of 10 times, they're going to finish that mag off with a smile on their face. And you want to make it fun for them too. That's why actually having something like an 18-inch target is really good, because if you're trying to get them to hit, say, a 6-inch target at 200 yards, it's going to be very difficult for them. And if you do have access to a lot of land, take a new shooter long-range shooting. Tell them that not only will they be shooting at a target 200 yards away, but they'll actually be hitting the target at 200 yards away. And most of the time, they're not even going to believe you until they start taking their shots.
Alright, I'm going.
Go for it. Nailing that at 200 yards.
That was it?
I think you nailed every single one.
I did.
Good for you.
Thank you. Can I throw this, wait, if I take the, can I throw this banana peel out here? It'll decompose, right?
What do you think?
I think so.
Yeah, there you go. Wait, not there.
Oh, shit.
Very good. Just saving the world, one banana peel at a time. Look at these shots. Not too shabby for first time long range shooter.
Just do what I can, man.
Very nice, Meg. And with the magazine. Gosh. So I mostly use the 10 round mag, but these 30 round mags work just fine. They don't exactly match the lower, the KE Arms KP-15 lower, but it does kind of remind me of the FN scar with its 50 shades of FDE. So I do like these Magpul Ranger plates. Whenever you insert a magazine, it just makes it a lot more comfortable. So speaking of Magpul, there's a couple of other Magpul products on here. One of which is this angled foregrip. I love this angled foregrip. It feels great, especially on full-size rifles. And these rail covers up here, mostly for aesthetics, but it does add just a little more traction if I happen to grab it right here up front. Plus, it kind of also gives me an indicator that if I feel this, my hand's gone a little too far and I don't want to go any further, because then I'm going to be pretty much right in front or next to the muzzle. So just a few more things to talk about. The bolt catch right here, it's made by Strike Industries. It's an enhanced bolt catch, and I like it a lot. It does a really good job. Also from Strike Industries, the charging handle. And that charging handle is operating a bolt that, it's kind of a no-name bolt. I'm pretty sure I got it from Aim Surplus about a year ago, so I kind of forgot exactly who makes it. But it works just fine, except for that firing pin. I do plan on putting this enhanced firing pin in it, so I think that'll take care of the light primer strikes. So this is basically just an all-around fun precision shooter. There's something that's very satisfying about sitting in a big open field on a warm spring day, taking shots at steel at relatively long ranges. Even if you miss most of your shots from your scope coming loose because maybe you forgot to lock tight your scope mount screws.